Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ferris University, episode number 6. Today, we're going to be discussing our TempGen agent. And TempGen is short for template generation. As engineers, I've noticed that we waste a lot of time doing work multiple times. So, as structural engineers, sometimes you do a hand calculation and then you'd have to transcribe that hand calculation over to some sort of Excel sheet that's functioned that makes you have the ability to use this replicably. So what we've created here at Ferris is the ability to turn your hand calcs and PDF sets into functioned Excel sheets. So we're going to show that to you here today. In the home screen, you go to Agent Launch, then you go to TempGen, and then you've got two options here. One is to turn PDF to Excel, and the second to turn images to Excel. So the first one that I'll show you is image to Excel. And let's go to a project that has a calculation. And then within here, let's do the Ashdow Bridge. Okay. And I will open this for you so we can kind of see what this looks like first. And on first, when you want to open any documents, you just click on them, and then it'll populate and open up for you. So just so you have an idea of what we're working with here, this calculation is a simple moment design calc on a bridge girder with some Ashdow factors and loads built in there. So we're going to go back to our browse agents, go to TempGen, and let's go image to Excel. And we're going to upload that Ashdow bridge design. These can be in JPEG files, PNG files, HEIC files, really any image file that you upload. And what you're going to do here is just upload a description for that calculation. So here we'll just say Ashdow moment design. And then if there's any more context that you want to add here, you could add that, and that'll be included in the package, the template package that you created. So I'm going to go here and press process. And for time's sake, I'll speed this up and I'll clip it to when it's done. Okay, so this one took a little bit longer, took about 71 seconds, as you can see here. We do give you a confidence index, so depending on the quality of the handwritten calculation that's uploaded, whether we could read all of the information properly, we do a little bit of a QA QC here to let you know, hey, we feel pretty confident in what we're reading and what we're putting into the spreadsheet. Give you a little bit of information about the constants found, the number of steps in the calculation that we were able to derive, and again, it's all based off of how clean and how neat your work is. I gave it a relatively messy calculation. It's actually like two problems in one, and the problem statement isn't all at the top. Part of the problem statement that gets introduced in the middle of the calculation, trying to throw in something that was a little bit more difficult just to see how Ferris would pick it up. So here, this is the first page of that spreadsheet, and you get your title, any context that you wanted to add here from your description will be placed here, some assumptions that were used, instructions on how to go ahead and use this if you were to give it to another engineer as a template. And then on the second sheet, we have our calculation. And within here, we've got our variables that when we go ahead and we change one, we're going to see that our values are also changing in column D in the calculation steps. And we provide with the function where we're getting these functions from, what the formulas look like. So that way, when you're running your QA QC over the template, you've got an idea of, oh, okay, it picked up on this equation really well. This one might need a little bit of tweaking and maybe is referencing an incorrect variable at some locations. So it will take a few minutes just to go through each one of these, make sure that it's picking up the correct variables, but it is able to get you into a really good spot from a template generation perspective, saying, hey, you got your template now, you can go ahead and fine tune this calculation for your exact condition or for what exactly you're looking for. So engineers have been saving on average about 70% of the time is what engineers have told me in their calculation generation processes. So the second one that I'd like to show you is in TempGen, you're able to go ahead and turn an Excel sheet, a PDF sheet into a functioned Excel sheet. So oftentimes we get different types of design guides, design examples, and these are just PDFs where problems have been worked through in the past. And then as engineers, we read through them and we try to transcribe all of this information into a template that will be applicable in future conditions that we could design for. Again, this takes a serious amount of time, reading through all of this, defining all the variables, and creating a very user-friendly template. Takes a good chunk of time. So here with Ferris, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use TempGen to create the template for us. So we're going to go to the TempGen agent, go to PDF to Excel. Let's go find that lintel design manual. And we'll just say lintel design. And then we'll say demo. And we'll do the same thing as last time is I'll cut the video here, but you'll see at the end how much time that took for us to generate. Okay, so you can see now in 73 seconds, Ferris was able to go through that PDF that we had fed it with the design example and spit out to us an Excel template. So we're going to open this up and we're going to take a look at the results that we have gotten here. So again, the format's going to be the same. You're going to have this first page, which is the notes and the general information on the template that we've generated. And then the second page is going to be our calculation with the variables, their descriptions of the variables, the units that we're working in, what those variables represent, what they mean, the coefficient symbols, constant symbols, variable symbols, excuse me. And then below in the calculation steps, the same thing. We're going to have our formulas that are written out, and we're going to be able to have our outputs that are here. So if we go ahead and we change something, everything is functioned in this way. So again, there are times where we're spending, I think, an inordinate amount of time manually transcribing a lot of these calculations, a lot of these templates. Engineers that I've worked with in the past have said, hey, I've got hand calcs and binders and they just sit in my desk and collect dust. And whenever someone wants to kind of go through a problem that I've solved in the past, I hand them this big binder of work and I tell them, hey, go find the condition that you're looking for and kind of like replicate what I've done. And I think now with creating these dynamic outputs using Ferris's TempGen agent, we'll be able to derive a lot of value from these just sitting in place sort of static documentation and calculations that we've provided. We can now make them dynamic. We can share them with our teams and we can utilize that and over time extract value from these processes that we've already completed. So engineers have really liked this. And one thing that was kind of like a standout moment was when you run TempGen. I ran it for an engineering team and they asked me the cost on TempGen. And when you run it, it costs about 50 credits here in Ferris, which equates to about 12 cents. So in 73 seconds and about 12 cents worth of credits, you're able to get an output that might take an engineer a half an hour to put together work. So if we're looking at it from a billable hours perspective, let's say on average you're charging about $200 per billable hour. Now that half an hour, which would be $100 worth of your time, that work is getting completed for 12 cents in less than 2 minutes. So when we had that conversation with that team, it was kind of an inevitable, I would say like a mic drop sort of a moment where we're reducing the cost to create calculations by orders of magnitude. And they're on board with that. And we're working with them now to help them get on board with Ferris and use these agents to derive great value from what they're doing. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me personally on LinkedIn or here on YouTube. And I would love to be able to show you more about what we're working here, and we will be doing that in the future as we develop more agents and more features on the Ferris platform. Again, TempGen right now is in, I would say, like a beta form. There are more features that we want to add to this agent, but we think it's a really good starting point, and engineers are already finding a lot of value in this tool, so we want to continue to build off of that. So again, thank you very much for watching Ferris University episode number 6, TempGen Agent. Have a good one. Bye.